Oh, this chair's in the way. Hello. I'm gonna move this. There we go. All right. Hi, whoever joined. Just send this link out. Huh. The wrong link went out. Okay. That should be the right link. Hi, whoever joined. And we'll get started in just a minute. Hi, whoever joined. I'm going to wait just another minute to get started because I sent the wrong link out. All right, we'll wait 1 minute and then we'll get started. Perfect. All right, well, let's get started today. We'll start with a little grounding. Today's going to be a vinyasa practice. So we'll start with a little grounding, a little breathing, then we'll do a warm up and get into the vinyasa practice. So I'm going to offer up Supta Baddha Konasana to start. So we'll start with the soles of the feet together, and you can lay all the way back down on your back. Place one hand on your belly and one hand on your heart. Left hand heart, right hand belly, I should specify. And if this is too much on the hips this early in practice, you can plant your feet about hip width distance and let your feet or your knees concave together. Start to bring the attention inward here. You can let your gaze fall soft on the ceiling or let your eyes flutter all the way closed. Start by taking a quick scan of the body. We'll start with the crown of the head and move all the way down through the toes. Just check in. Check in if there's any points in the body that are holding any tension, if anything is feeling a little off today. No need to manipulate anything, just check in where you're at right now. When you get to finish your full scan of the body, take a moment and relax the eyebrows, release the jaw, let the shoulders melt down into the mat, the hips relax, inner thighs release. Let's bring the attention to the breath. The rise and the fall of the belly with every inhale and every exhale. Just take note here of how long your inhales and exhales are. No need to manipulate them yet. We're still just checking in. On your next inhale, see if you can find a deeper variation of this breath, fully filling the belly with air. The hand should raise up with the belly. And exhale, bring belly button all the way back to spine to fully empty. And let's continue a few cycles of breath here with this deeper breath. You can imagine your belly is a well, an area that when you inhale, you fill it up with water, and when you exhale, it shoots down all the way back out your mouth. Water emptying that well. On your next inhale, fully fill the belly, expanding diaphragm drops down. And then we'll add a second part, inhaling through the rib cage. Ribs expand to the side. We'll exhale from the top down. Rib cage collapses, belly button moves towards spine. We'll take that 2-part breath for the next few cycles. Inhaling to fully fill the belly, all the way up through to expand the rib cage, and then exhaling, collapsing the ribs, belly button to spine. If at any point you need to come out of Supta Baddha Konasana and let your knees fall together, that's okay. And let's add a 3rd part of that breath. So we'll inhale, fully filling the belly, rib cage expands, and then sternum slightly lifts as we breathe all the way through to the clavicle. Exhale from the top, sternum drops, ribs collapse, belly button to spine. We'll take a few cycles of breath here. Notice the movement in the hands as the belly lifts and then as the sternum lifts. And we'll add one last component to this breath. As you get to the top, you'll hold for just a moment before releasing your 3-part breath. So it'll go inhale, fill belly, ribs expand all the way up to the clavicle, hold. Exhale from the top, ribs collapse all the way down. We'll take a few of those here. Wherever you are, exhale all your stale air all the way out. Bring your hands to the outer edges of your thighs and close the knees up like a book. Let's rock the knees from side to side to release the hips and the low back. You can gently flutter your eyes open. And let's start with some gentle movement. We'll roll all the way over onto the side and then all the way up into our tabletop position. Knees under hips, wrists under shoulders. Inhale, drop the belly for cow pose. Chest shines forward, hip points move back and up. Exhale, cat pose, curl through the spine, tuck the tailbone, chin comes to chest. Let's take a few more of those breath to movement on your own. Inhaling through cow pose, dropping the belly. Exhaling through cat pose. Moving slowly and intentionally in this first part of class so that once we get into our flow, we are all ready and set. Now either continue here in traditional cat-cow, or you can take a different variation, maybe coming side to side, maybe dropping heels back to hips and moving through baby cobra and forearms. Try to take whatever variation feels good. If you take one side, make sure you take the other side. Take whatever you need here to warm yourself up, to open that body up. And let's all meet back in a static tabletop. Start to really set yourself up here. It's really easy to just get comfortable and sit and not work here. But press down through your palms, press into your fingers. Be so engaged that your upper back lifts up off the shoulders. So it's like almost like a little, like it's not a full dome, but like it's domed just a little bit because you're so engaged. Squeeze the belly button to the spine. We'll start to fire the core up. And curl the back toes under. So maintaining the active pressing down, using the floor as a springboard to press yourself up. Belly button shoots in and up. Lift the knees just 2 inches off the mat. Your gaze can fall right down on the floor in front of you. Stay engaged as we start to fire up the core and create some heat. And drop the knees, rock the hips side to side. And let's go ahead, set up again, press down into the floor, belly button to spine, and lift the knees off 2 inches. Make sure your shoulders are still above your wrists and your knees are under your hips. And drop the knees back down. You can take a little rock side to side. Beautiful. We'll meet in center again. Engage, lift those knees. This is the last time, and instead of dropping down this time, I want you to bring your hip points back and up. Press into those fingers for downward facing dog. And start pedaling those feet out right away. Bend the right leg, then the left. Really take your time to get comfortable here. Press through the knuckles so you press up out of the hips. Shoulders are rotating outward. Hip points pull back and up, kind of toward where the wall and the ceiling meet. Inhale, bend your knees, press your hip points back and up, and exhale, drop the heels toward the mat. Bend your knees and look toward your hands, and walk your feet behind your wrists. We'll take a ragdoll here, grab for opposite elbows. You can have a slight bend in the knees and use your hips as a hinge. So everything from the hips to the crown of the head is completely slack here. Shake the head, yes. Shake the head, no. Shake the head, maybe. And release the hands to the mat. Slight bend in the knees, engage the core. We're going to roll all the way up, stacking vertebrae on vertebrae, head and neck, the last thing to come up. Beautiful. Press down into all 4 corners of your feet, firmly into the mat. Engage the core, engage the legs so much that the thighs lift up off the knees, arms sweep up toward the ceiling, pinkies forward, thumbs back. Shoulder blades squeeze together and down the back. Let's reach for the left wrist with the right hand and pull the wrist up and over. I'm going to come onto my knees just so you can see me in the frame. Up and over to the other side. For a side body stretch. If you want a little more, you can gaze up at the ceiling. Let's come back to center. We'll switch, grab the right wrist with the left hand, pull the wrist up and over. A little more. Gaze those eyes up at the ceiling. Beautiful. Come back to center. Inhale, arms lift up. Exhale, hinge at the hips and lean forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Let's start by planting the hands either on the shins or on the thighs. Flat back, Tailbone moves actively toward the back of the mat. Crown of the head moves toward the front of the mat as shoulder blades squeeze together. Really feel those abs working. Feel the shoulder blades squeezing together. This is so good for your posture. And release. Drop the hands to the mat. We'll step all the way back into a high plank. Hang out here for just a second and let's use the same upper body that we did. So don't let your butt come up, but in our tabletop pose. So press down into the mat and actively move up off your shoulders. If you need to come to your knees, that's okay. Or follow me and hinge 2 inches forward. Pin the elbows to the sides and lower all the way down to your low plank. Inhale, upward facing dog. Flip the feet, engage the legs so much that the knees are lifted up off the mat. Chest shines forward. Shoulder blades roll together and down the back. And exhale, downward facing dog. Beautiful. Let's take that same little flow breath to movement. Inhale, look toward your hands. Exhale, walk your feet behind your wrists. Inhale, roll all the way up, pressing down through the feet. Exhale, arms at your sides. Inhale, arms sweep up toward the ceiling. Exhale, hinge at the hips and lean forward. Inhale, halfway lift, find a flat back. Exhale, plank, high to low plank, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Know that you can always take belly to baby cobra. You can take it from your knees. You can hang out in plank and head back to a downward facing dog, or you can skip it all together. Listen to your body. It knows what's up way more than I do. All right, inhale, look toward your hands. Exhale, step walker, jump your feet behind your wrists. Inhale, roll all the way up, pressing down through the feet. Exhale, shoulder blades come together and down. Inhale, arms sweep up. Exhale, forward fold, hinge at the hips. Inhale, halfway lift, find the length in the spine. Exhale, chaturanga dandasana, or variation of your choice. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Let's move into our Sun A. Inhale, lift your right leg high. And this is the first time here, so make some movement. You can stack the hips, maybe take some circles. Whatever feels good this morning. Press into your hands and we'll meet in a 3-legged dog. Foot flexed, toes pointed toward the ground, and hips level. So when you're fully in the position, try to keep your hips square. You don't want to stack them. Inhale, find length. Exhale, low lunge. And again, this is the first one, so rock back and forth. Maybe rock straight in the front leg and rock on that heel. Take your time. We will flow, don't you worry. Plant the left hand into the mat and lift the right hand high for a little twist. Keep the feet, the hips square, thighs squeezing toward each other. And we can lower that right hand back down. Squeeze the thighs together and come up into your crescent lunge. When you come up, make sure you bring your hands out and up. Don't just come directly up. In finding your crescent lunge, I like to start by taking my hands on my hips, manually square them, pulling that left hip forward, right hip back. Engage the back leg, find the bend in your front knee. Actively squeezing thighs together, pushing feet away from each other as your crown of your head lifts up toward the ceiling. Arms float up when it feels right. And let's twist toward the right side. So left hand comes forward, right hand comes back. Maintain the bend in the front knee. Keep those legs squeezing together. It's just the torso, just the chest that moves toward the side body. Drop your right hand on the back of your thigh and let your left hand come up toward the ceiling. So we're out of a twist now. We're coming from the twist to let the chest come forward and up. And from here, we're going to move into our Virabhadrasana 2 or our Warrior 2 on the right. So back arm is going to float back up. So both are up, and then we'll open up to the side, twisting that back foot down, paralleling the back of your mat. Arms reach in opposite directions. Maintain the bend in the knee. Gaze can fall on the front fingertips. Find that bend in the front knee. And from here, we'll drop the back hand on the back leg. Right hand shoots up toward the ceiling, stretching the side body. Beautiful. Let's cartwheel the hands to frame the front foot and step back into our downward facing dog. We're going to take that same sequence on the left side. So inhale, left leg lifts high. You can stack the hips, find some circles. Give yourself a little grace. It's your first time in this position today. All right, we'll meet back in three-legged downward dog. Toes pointed toward the ground. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, find your low lunge. Foot comes between the hands. You can rock back and forth. Find whatever movement here feels good. Press the right hand down in the mat. Lift the left hand high for a twist. And let the left hand float back down. We'll come up and out and up into our crescent lunge. So squeeze the thighs together, hands come out and up. Again, it's our first time here, so let's set yourself up. Manually square those hips. Find the bend in the front knee, engage the back leg. Crown of the head shoots up toward the ceiling. When you're ready, arms float to follow. Bring the shoulder blades together and down the back. And we'll open up, twist toward the left. Right hand comes forward, left hand to the back. Reach arms in opposite directions. Maintain the squeezing together of those thighs. Keep the bend in the front knee. Drop the left hand back down onto your back leg. Bring the chest forward and up. We're going to come through to our Warrior 2 on the left. Left arm sweeps up to meet the right as we open to the right. Bend into the front knee. Press into the knife edge of the back foot. Find length in the spine. Crown reaches toward the ceiling. Arms reach in opposite directions. Gaze falls on those front fingertips. Squeeze the thighs together. You got this. Drop your back hand down on the back thigh. Sweep the left arm up. Reverse warrior. Keep the bend in the front knee. I know it's been working. Find length in the side body. And we'll cartwheel the hands down and step back into downward facing dog. We're going to take that same little flow, breath to movement twice. So we'll start off with just a few breaths in our static down dog. You can pedal the legs out. as we prepare to move into this flow. All right, let's all meet in down dog. And inhale, lift the right leg high. Exhale, low lunge on the right. Sweep the foot between the hands. Inhale, press the left hand down into the ground. Exhale, twist, right hand lifts. Inhale, drop that hand back down. Exhale, come all the way up to our crescent lunge. Inhale, find length. Exhale, twist to the right. Left arm drops forward. Inhale, left arm reaches up. Exhale, we'll open all the way up to warrior two on the right. Inhale, sweep up, reverse warrior. Exhale, cartwheel the hands to frame the foot. Downward facing dog. Left side. Inhale, sweep the left leg high. Exhale, low lunge on the left. Inhale, right hand comes down. Exhale, left hand twists high. Inhale, drop that hand back down. Exhale, sweep all the way up. Woo. If you lose your balance like me, that's okay. Inhale, find length here. Exhale, we'll twist to the left. Inhale, reverse, sweep that right hand up to the ceiling. Left hand falls on the back leg. Exhale, open up to warrior two on the left. Inhale, reverse. Sweep that left hand up. Exhale, cartwheel the hands down. Step back into your downward facing dog. We're going to take that one more time, breath to movement. You take that on your own, so follow your own breath. So I'm not going to cue it this time, but I'll be doing it here. So if you get lost, you can just look up at the screen. We'll all be back in downward facing dog. If you're not there yet, don't worry. We're all just gonna bend the knees and come down to sit on the knees. You can rock over again if you're still moving through the flow. Take your time. We're all gonna end up in the same place. Let's move over to one hip, swing the legs around. And we're gonna take some Supta Baddha Konasana crunches. So bring the soles of the feet together, arms straight out in front of you, and slowly come all the way down to the mat. Remember, this is all a part of the ab work. So take your time and come down slowly. Beautiful. You can adjust the soles of your feet. If you want it to be a little more intense, you can move your heels closer to your hips. If not, you can move it a little further away. Bring the hands behind the head, interlacing fingers. The thumbs can go long and run along the base of your neck. And we're going to move on the exhale to bring your shoulders up off the ground and your face toward the ceiling. So I don't want you crunching in, but I want your upper body to move up toward the ceiling. And inhale back down. Arms stay wide. Your elbows are going to want to come in. Don't let them. Exhale up. Inhale slowly down. Exhale up. Inhale slowly down. And we'll continue that same movement You might feel an urge to move quickly, and I'm going to challenge you to move slowly through this. See if you can move in equal slowness through the whole thing. So don't speed up when it gets hard. And then check in with yourself. Are you speeding up at certain places? Why is that? Is it because it's hard? Is it because your abs have to work in a way that they're not used to? Our bodies are constantly looking for shortcuts, easier ways to do things. When the reality is, if you do it the slow way, if you take your time and you do it the slower, more challenging way, the harder things are easier later on in practice. Because you build that beautiful foundation. All right, last one. We'll release to the floor. Bring your hands to the outsides of your thighs. Close them up like a book. Let the knees rock from side to side like windshield wipers. Then you're going to cross one ankle over the other, and we're going to rock and roll the length of the spine a few times just to release and then gain some momentum and come all the way up to a seated position. Shoot the sits bones down into the mat and use that as leverage as you press down to press the crown of the head up toward the ceiling. Bring your hands to the backs of your thighs to start and come up onto your toes. Bring your shoulder blades together and down the back. And then we'll move into our Navasana, our boat pose. So just start to rock backwards so your toes lift up off the ground. Engage the core. If this is enough, hang out here. If you want a little more, you can parallel the shins. A little more, you can straighten the legs. I cannot. If you want to bring your arms out to the sides or up to the ceiling, you can do that as well. Just know if your back collapses at all, then you've gone too far. I'd rather you do less and do it the right way so we can build that foundation we were just talking about. I know your boat pose is going to be different every time. Some days I feel good about it. I can do crazier things. And some days I just want to lift my toes up off the ground and engage my core. So listen to your body. It truly knows what's up. And drop the toes to the ground. Hands plant behind you. We'll drop the knees from side to side. Beautiful. And let's move through that boat pose one more time. So set yourself up, plant the sits bones down to shoot the crown of the head up, come up onto the toes, and then lean back. Shoulder blades come together and down. Maybe you parallel the shins. Maybe you straighten the legs. Maybe you bring the arms out to the sides. If you want to take it a little bit further on this side, you can add some movement. Only if you want to, though. You'll exhale all the way down. Inhale back up. Exhale, hovering the legs and shoulders above the ground. Inhale back up. Try to keep your thighs and your ankles together as you do this. Pulling the midline into itself. I guess pulling yourself into the midline. Wherever you are, take one more moment or one more movement, and then we'll plant the feet back on the ground, drop the knees from side to side, and let's move back into our downward facing dog. So you can get there however you'd like. Continue to pedal it out here. Hip points come back and up, press down in through the hands. All right. Inhale, lift the right leg high. Exhale, low lunge on the right. Squeeze the thighs together, engage that back leg, and we're going to come into our crescent lunge. Hands come out and up. Beautiful. Squeeze the thighs together. Find length. And then bring the hands to heart center. From here, keep the thighs squeezing together. Inhale, lean forward. Exhale, twist to the right, bringing the outside of the left elbow to the outside of the right thigh. If you need to drop that back knee down for balance, go right ahead. Find length in the spine on every inhale. Use that arm, press down into the bottom hand with the top hand as you exhale and twist. Maybe gaze over that right shoulder. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. Inhale, back to center. Let's drop the hands to the inside of the front foot and toe heel that front foot to the upper corner of the mat. Drop the back knee down, and we'll take a runner's lunge here. If this is enough of a stretch here, hang out here. If you want to come all the way down to the forearms, you can come down to the forearms. Another option, if you want this to be more of a quad stretch than a hip stretch, press the left hand down into the ground, bend the left knee, and sweep the right hand around to reach and grab for that foot. Listen to your body. Listen to what it wants. No one stretch is better than the other. I'm just giving a little option here. Wherever you are, you can release the foot if you have it. Come back up to hands if you have it. We're going to pop back into our plank from here and roll over onto the left hand for a side plank. Right hand comes up toward the ceiling. If you need a little extra balance, pop that left knee down on the ground. If you want to take it a little further, you can lift the right leg. Ooh, I just hit the wall, up in the air. And if you've lifted the leg, plop it down. We'll come back to our plank position and take a chaturanga or meet back in downward facing dog, whichever you'd like. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift the left leg high. Exhale, low lunge on the left. Squeeze the thighs together. We'll come up into our crescent lunge. Hands come out and up. Beautiful. Find your pose here. Find your full expression. Hands come down to heart center. Inhale, lean forward. Exhale, twist to the left. The right elbow comes to the outside of the left thigh. Remember, you can always drop that back knee down for balance if you'd like. Inhale, find length in the spine. Exhale, press the left hand into the right hand for leverage to open the chest up to the side. Maybe find the gaze over that left shoulder. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. Inhale back to center and drop the hands inside the left foot. Toe heel that left foot to the upper corner and drop the back knee down. Again, this is your choice. You can hang out here in runner's lunge. You can come down to lizard pose on those forearms, or you can plant the right hand, bend the right knee, and bring the left hand all the way around to grab that foot. And then lean forward to get into the quad. Take note if whatever variation you took on the other side, if it feels a little different on this side. Our sides are inherently different. Beautiful. Release that leg back down to the ground if you've taken it. If you're down on the forearms, come back up to the hands. We're going to press into the hands and step back into our plank position. This time, we will roll over onto the right hand for a side plank on the right. You can stack those feet and lift the left hand. You can pop that knee down on the ground. Or if you want a little more, go ahead and lift that left leg. Try to get those hips a little bit higher. And let's come back down to our plank. You can take a chaturanga here or move right back into your downward facing dog. All right, inhale, lift the right leg high. Exhale, low lunge on the right. From here, you're gonna walk your left leg back behind into pyramid pose. So both feet have toes facing the front of your mat. Try to have both heels on the ground. If you need to move one foot a little closer, that's okay. And you can come up onto your fingertips if you'd like or stay down. And let's take a moment here just to move the left hip forward and the right hip back, really squaring those hips. Inhale, find length in the spine. Exhale, collapse over that front leg. Inhale, lengthen the spine again. Exhale, collapse. One more time. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, collapse. And you can do a little figure 8 with the head here, really releasing the head and neck. And now you're gonna hop off that back foot, that left foot, and press in to the palms. If you need a block, I have a book right here. If you need a pillow or something, if it's a pillow, I'd use a more firm pillow. But go ahead and just lift that up and plant the hands down in front. If they're fine on the mat, then that's fine. We're going to do half splits. So lift the left leg up in the air. As you drop the chest down toward the top of the thigh. Beautiful. Drop that leg back down into pyramid. And we'll take a second in pyramid. You can bend into that front knee if you need to. Take a second, set yourself up. Now square the hips again. Pull the left hip back and the right hip forward. And this time we're going to move into our half moon. So in half moon, you lift the back leg like you're going into half splits. Then you'll press the right hand down into the ground. If you need a block, I like to have a block for this one, and stack the hips. So the left hip will be on top of the right hip, and you can flex that foot. If this is enough for you, hang out here. Really keep that standing foot active. Press the feet into the ground. If you need a little more, lift the left hand up toward the ceiling, opening that side body up. Keep the inner thigh of the left leg engaged. Keep the chest spiraling out toward the side body. Left fingers reach out. If you need even more, you can maybe start to float those right fingertips on the ground up in the air. Engage the core. Beautiful. Plant the hand, and we'll come back into our low lunge and step back into downward facing dog. Beautiful. Go ahead and lift the left leg high and come through low lunge on the left. Start to walk that back foot forward, and we'll come into pyramid. So both feet, toes facing the front of the mat. Pull the left hip back, the right hip forward, squaring those hips. Inhale, find length in the spine. Exhale, collapse. Inhale, find length. Exhale, collapse. And inhale one more time. And collapse. Release the neck, do a little figure 8. Beautiful. We're gonna press into the left foot for half splits. Right foot floats up toward the air. Chest falls down toward the top of the thighs. Right foot lifts up. Half splits in the air like this is just as much about strength as it is about flexibility. Really engaging that foot to get it in the air. Beautiful. Drop back down into your pyramid. Pull the left hip crease back, the right hip crease forward. Really engaging here. If you need to, again, find some movement and bend a little bit, listen to your body here. And we're going to move through into our half moon. If you need your block, grab your block. Go ahead, plant the left hand, lift the right leg high, and then stack the hips. Right foot flexed, right hip on top of left hip. Press down in through the left hand, right hand floats up. Press down, active left foot pressing into the ground. Inner right thigh, squeezing to press the leg up. Turn that chest toward the side body. Maybe lift your fingers. If you fall, that's okay. It's all part of the process. And plant both hands. Pop that back foot back down. And we're going to step back into our downward facing dog. From here, you can move over into a plank and go through one more final chaturanga or come all the way down to your knees. From the knees, we're going to actually option here to come into tabletop or to go all the way from downward facing dog. We're going to move in through our pigeon poses. So if you know there's one you prefer, take that. Today I prefer doing it from tabletop. Inhale, lift the right leg high. Exhale, pigeon on the right. Right ankle comes behind left wrist. Walk that left foot backward. Take a second to set yourself up here. So look behind you. Make sure your left leg is straight behind you. Crawl your hands to either side of your hips. Actively pull right hip back and left hip crease forward to square those hips. If you need to pop a blanket or a pillow under the right hip so that it can sit comfortably, go ahead. Inhale, find length. Exhale, walk your hands forward. You can come to hands, come to forearms, or come all the way down. Keep it active, guys. Inhale, pull left hip crease back. Exhale, right hip crease back, left hip crease forward. Gently begin to crawl yourself all the way up. Press down into your hands, and you can step back either into a downward facing dog or come back to your tabletop position. Listen to your body. Maybe you want to lift that right leg up in the air. Maybe there's something else calling to you. And find either your tabletop or your down dog. Inhale, lift left leg high. Exhale, pigeon on the left. Left ankle comes behind right wrist. Crawl that right foot backward, look behind, make sure it's in a straight line, and then square the hips. And pull the left hip crease back, right hip crease forward as you put your pigeon to sleep. You can walk your hands out, come down to forearms, or come all the way to the ground. Beautiful. Crawl out your hands all the way back up. Press into the hands, flip the back toes, and come back into your downward facing dog, left foot in the air, your tabletop, rocking hip side to side, whatever you feel like you need today. And from here, we're gonna drop down to either the left or right hips, swing the legs out in front, and we'll come all the way back down to the back. Let's move in through our bridge pose. So bring your heels, walk them all the way to the hips, snuggle your shoulder blades underneath your chest. Press down into the heels to lift the hips all the way up toward the ceiling. Chest comes toward chin, chin comes toward ceiling. Option here to take a bind, interlacing fingers underneath your hips and scooting those shoulder blades together. Keep it active. Push those heels down into the mat and push the shins toward the front of the mat. Now, while you're doing all of this hard work, keep your face soft. Jaw released. The beautiful contradictions of every pose. And release the bind. If you've taken it, roll onto the balls of your feet and rock all the way down, starting from the top of the vertebrae all the way down toward the sacrum. Rock the knees from side to side, releasing the hips. We are going to take bridge pose one more time. If full wheel is in your practice, feel free to take full wheel, but I'm not going to cue that today. So go ahead, drop the heels down into the mat, shins push forward to the front of the mat, and hips float up. If you took the bind last time, if you take it this time, interlace your fingers in the other way, so the other thumb is on top. Chin to chest, or chest to chin, chin to ceiling. So it's like there's a piece of fruit between your chest and your chin. Keep it active. Press down with those heels and out with those shins. But keep your face happy and soft. Beautiful. If you've taken your bind, you can let go of that. Start to come out of full wheel if you took it. And rock onto the balls of the feet and roll from the top all the way down. We'll rock the knees from side to side. And let's take a happy baby here. Sweep the soles of the feet to stamp the ceiling. Grab for backs of thighs, grab or ankles, or the outer inner edges of the feet. Really work to get that low back on the ground. And then take a moment here and take whatever movement you think you need. Maybe it's straightening one leg and then the other. Maybe it's rocking side to side. Maybe it's bringing the soles of the feet together. Find a variation that feels good for you, because this is your practice. I'm just the guide. Welcome both knees into your chest. Give them a squeeze. Go ahead, squeeze right knee to right armpit and let left leg go long. Inhale, squeeze. Exhale, supine twist on the right. Stack the hips and bring the right knee over to the left side of the body. You can let the hands come out in a T or in goalpost arms. Gaze up at the ceiling or toward your right fingertips. Try to let go of any control here. We've worked hard all practice. We've engaged, and now it's time to let gravity take its shift. You've done your work. It's time to reap the benefits. I'm using the left hand, guide that right knee back into the chest. Give it a squeeze. Bring the left knee to meet it. Left knee, left armpit, right leg goes long. Inhale, squeeze. Exhale, supine twist on the left. Left hip stacks on top of right. Arms come out to a T or goalpost arms. Gaze at the ceiling or at the left fingertips. And guide that left knee back into the chest. Give it a squeeze. Bring both knees into the chest. And then for one last final push, forehead comes toward knees. Squeeze every muscle in your body for one last push. And exhale, final Shavasana. Legs fall open, feet splayed to the sides. Palms rest at your sides, facing the ceiling. Shoulders melt into the mat. Find softness in the space between your eyebrows and your temples. Let your jaw be so relaxed that the lips slightly part. Relax every muscle in your body as we surrender to this final Shavasana. Final Shavasana is yours for as long as you'd like it. If you're not ready to be guided out yet, feel free to turn off your phone, close your laptop, do whatever you've got to do. And know that you're 100% able to stay here. If you're ready to be guided out, start to bring some gentle movement to the fingers and to the toes. Rock the head from side to side and find some circles in the wrists and the ankles. When you're ready, sweep the hands up overhead in a full body stretch, arms and legs reaching in opposite directions. Then roll onto the right or left side, knees bent, using the bicep as a pillow in fetal position. Our final Shavasana marks the death of our practice. Here in fetal pose, we represent the new life that we bring off of our mats and out into the world with us. Using the strength of your hands, press yourself up to a comfortable seated position. Bring your hands together at heart center. The love, the light, the teacher and the student in me honors the love, the light, the teacher and the student to every one of you. Bring your thumbs to third eye center and bow forward. Namaste. Well, thank you everybody who joined, and I hope you have whoa, my hair's a little crazy. I hope you have a great rest of your Saturday. We're doing restorative tomorrow at 4 p.m. Central. So join me for that, and I will see you next time on your mats.